for One-on-One with Wes the Sports Guy here on YouTube and online all the time at westhesportsguy.com. If you want to get all the social media links to follow me and weekly conversations in the world of sports using that hashtag One-on-One-Wes, you can go to westhesportsguy.com. Make sure you bookmark that site. Again, it is westhesportsguy.com. If you want to get updates of all the latest episodes here on this channel, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell to get notified when new videos are posted weekly on this channel. And also leave a like, leave a comment. If you don't like it, also leave a thumbs down if you so choose to. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Make sure you do that when you're tuning in to the episodes here on this YouTube channel. Getting right into it, it is time for a playoff update.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Going into the NHL, the playoffs are set for the semifinals. The Dallas Stars will be going up against the Colorado Avalanche in that kind of a division rival series, since they do play in the same division during the regular season, but they'll be going at it in a best-of-7 series. The other matchup is the Vegas Golden Knights going up against the Vancouver Canucks, also a division rival matchup in the Pacific out in the Western Conference. Out in the East, you have the top seed Philadelphia Flyers advancing to play their division rival and long-term rival, you could say, in the New York Islanders in that semifinal matchup in the Eastern Conference. The other matchup in the East will have more division rivals going at each other again. You can detect a theme here. The Tampa Bay Lightning, number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs, going up against the number 4 seed Boston Bruins, going at it in a best-of-7 series. If you want to get the preview, a bit of a breakdown of who the players are to watch and who I believe are going to win the series, you can go to westhesportsguy.com. Most recent post is the NHL semifinal playoff preview there at westhesportsguy.com. And just a little side note, at the beginning of the season, before any of the craziness happened in the year of 2020, my prediction for the Stanley Cup Final was the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche. If you don't believe me, go search the NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs at westhesportsguy.com and try to prove me wrong, but I know it's there. It's Colorado Avalanche versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm just about halfway there, so let's see if it happens. And also, while you're there, bookmark the site, westhesportsguy.com. Time for the segment that says, if you enjoy standing in line at the post office, you can also stand in line to vote. Do you remember?
You remember?
Do you remember all the sayings about the unwritten rules in Major League Baseball where, let's just say for one, I can come off the top of my head, for example, is when a pitcher has either a perfect game or no hitter going, it's an unwritten rule for the opposing team not to bunt to then get on base trying to break up said no hitter or perfect game. That's one of those types of rules where it's like, yeah, but if you want to, let me just let Herm Edwards point it out for you.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
Now, that is the whole point of the game, right? You're playing it to win. So another unwritten rule that I never heard of in Major League Baseball, this is also part of the problem with baseball and the culture lately, is that you have the new generation, the current generation, whatever you want to call it, and the old generation going at it with when it comes to the rules and whether or not they are written or unwritten, especially the unwritten ones. But what recently happened was that Fernando Tatis, one of the best young stars in the game today of the San Diego Padres, decided, hey, I'm not going to go ahead and take a 3-0 pitch. Bases are loaded against the Texas Rangers. It was in Texas, and thus he swung away on a 3-0 pitch. What happened? It was a grand slam. Now, I know at the time the Padres were up fairly large. It was late in the game. It was the 7th, 8th inning, somewhere around there. But you also have to realize that the way this season's been going in Major League Baseball, bullpens are kind of important. More important now than ever in a 60-game season. And the way the Padres bullpen's been playing, it's been pretty garbage for the most part. And their closer's been out for most of the season as well, Kirby Yates. Their bullpen's been struggling, especially of late in the last 2 weeks for the season for them. So you try to score as many runs as you possibly can so that way your bullpen has a little bit of a gap between the opposing team if you want to end up winning the game. So after it was all said and done, when the home run was hit, the next batter up, Manny Machado, the ball gets thrown directly behind his back. And thus, we had a discussion of whether or not that was, an intentional thing or not. Of course it was. Chris Woodward got suspended for a game, the manager of the Texas Rangers. He also kind of said that, he didn't like seeing a hitter hit a pitch on a 3-0 count, which everybody else with any sense to their mind would say that the opposing pitcher should have made a better pitch. Don't throw a gopher ball down the middle on a 3-0 count expecting the hitter to take it. Lots of hitters are not going to take that fat gopher ball pitch. They're going to crush it. And that's what Tatis did. Yes, there was a sign being given to say, take the pitch, but he says, screw it. Why do I have to listen to that when I'm going to get the pitch I want to hit? In the moment, when you're the batter, you get a fat, juicy pitch that you want to hit, you're going to crush it. And that's the whole point of the game, isn't it? You play to win the game. To quote Herm Edwards. That's what the whole point of this is. I understand it's about sportsmanship and things like that. I get that argument. But for the love of Pete, we're professionals. Even in Little League standards, I know there's a mercy rule in it in Little League, but the point of the game is to win it. Not by any means necessary, because, you could go that extra length and cheat to win and win a game. I'm not saying you need to go that far, but you're supposed to score more runs than the opponent. That's the point of baseball. So what's the deal with getting upset about a guy crushing a pitch on a 3-0 count when the bases are loaded? If the pitcher didn't want to make that pitch, just walk him. Give up 1 run instead of 4. Do the math, will you? But everybody's up in arms, either massively, intently defending Fernando Tatis, kind of like what I'm doing right now, and you have the others saying that it's not part of the game, we don't need this stuff. Well, hello. Do you want people to watch or not? Having these stupid arguments about what is and isn't right for a game of baseball, which has been around for over 150 years now. They had their 150th celebratory season last year, so it's been over 150 years now officially for Major League Baseball. Do we want to still have these stupid arguments? Honestly, go ahead, swing away. 3-0 pitch, do it. I don't care. You want to score more runs? Have at it. You don't want to give up those runs? Make a better pitch, or, like I already said, walk the guy. Giving up 1 run as opposed to 4 is a lot better, wouldn't you think? And for my feel-good story of the week, just to kind of rehash what I talked about last week here on this channel when it came to the Big Ten, Pac-12, to a lighter note, because we already know how the Pac-12 operates there on the west side of the United States. But again, the Big Ten in middle America, you could say, they've been under quite a lot of heat, especially with the way that they handled things and the way that the communication factor was just kind of spotty at best. Nobody really was informed of what the decision was going to be. And when it started to trickle down, it just kind of was like, okay, we expect the inevitable. And when it happened less than a week after you release your fall football schedule to then tuck tail and run and say, well, you know what, at second thought, we'll try for the spring. But it's already been slowly revealed that the Big Ten commissioner acted on his own with various presidents and chancellors of the Big Ten universities without the athletic director's knowledge that they were not going to have a fall football season, where the opposite was true with the athletic directors wanting to have a football season in the fall for the Big Ten, just like the other Power 5 conferences were with the Big 12, the ACC, and the SEC, the biggest of them all. They're still going to play a fall football season. Now with the schedules, they stretched them out where they were possibly going to be helping out with any possible delays with, lockdown related stuff and all those types of things. But to take a quote from Nebraska Athletic Director Bill Moose, if I'm mispronouncing that name, I'm sorry, but you don't have 2 S's in your name. It's 2 O's with the S at the end, so I'm assuming it's Bill Moose. Quote, Warren was aware, for example, that every Big Ten athletic director was in favor of playing a fall football season. Moose said he, Ohio State's, Penn State's, and Michigan's athletic directors pushed hardest, but there was unanimous agreement, Moose said, in wanting to play. He knew where we were coming from, and he was the messenger to the presidents and chancellors. Quote, I knew where our people stood, but I would have liked to have been in the room when they expressed it to the commissioner and our presidents and chancellors. The commissioner was operating in silos, and the silos weren't connected. And in the end, that created varying degrees of communication not being delivered. So there you have it. Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren, the hypocrisy is at its utmost climax at this point. And again, I will point out his own son. Granted, it is his decision to play whether or not he wanted to or not. But again, if Kevin Warren was so concerned about players' safety, why is he allowing his own son to play football at Mississippi State in the SEC? That's a valid question to ask Kevin Warren, but I will say hashtag we want to play. It is an amazing thing to see all the young athletes, student athletes, if you want to call them that, but the athletes nonetheless in the Big Ten, Pac-12, also high school sports. Let the kids play if they want to play. We can do it safely. We can do it smartly. We know how this is going to adversely affect us now with the novel lockdown situation that we're going through. But come on, we have all the information at our disposal. Let's go with it. Let's do this in a practical manner. Let's not say, okay, let's let the floodgates open. We're not advocating for that. It's not happening. We know that. But you got to let these kids compete. You got to let them work at it because these moments in their lives are not coming back. It's not going to be there for them. You're robbing them of that opportunity and all the work that they've put into for all these years now. Let them play. Hashtag we want to play. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell to get notified when new videos are posted on this channel. Bookmark the site, westthesportsguide.com. Use the hashtag #OneOnOneWest, and I will see you next time.